I did that for 35 years. I grew up in Pennsylvania. That poor little girl. That column to almost reach Kyiv. I have this and this. Russian warship, go f yourself. My name is Mike Cohan. I'm from Montana, USA, and I'm here because Ukraine has been illegally attacked. I served in the Army in Vietnam many years ago, and after that, I went to school to become a physician's assistant, and then I went back into the Army. As an officer, I have skills and experience that are particularly useful right now, and especially my training in taking care of the casualties of chemical warfare. In fact, many military establishments avoid that subject. It's an ugly subject. In 2 days, I can teach them head wounds. And then a month from now, they have another stand down. In 3 days, I can teach them chest wounds. I can't do a school, but I can do parts of the body. So what has been done to you is the greatest injustice. I have this, and I want to give it to Ukraine. It's all I have to give. If I were wealthy, I would be buying jets. So I came here at my own expense. I sold my car.
Which car did you sell?
I had a Chevy van that I was fond of. It was old. And I also promised my wife that I would quit smoking because I spent too much money. American cigarettes are expensive. Yeah. I believe that eventually the Russians will use chemical weapons. They always do, especially when they're backed into a corner, and you are being very good at backing them into a corner. Our enemy has no morality whatsoever, and I want to help you to prepare for it. There was one photograph. It was a black and white picture taken by a French journalist, I believe in Mariupol. And it is a beautiful little girl with wavy hair. She's clutching her dolly. And she's leaning against the body of her grandmother. And she had just witnessed her parents being murdered. That ain't right. They can't do that. They're not allowed to do that. War is soldiers fighting soldiers. What they are doing is not war. If I could kill them all myself, I would. I'm too old, and I can't. The rest of the world did this deliberately and allowed him to rape Georgia, as he does everywhere. And I believe the same thing happened in Crimea and Donbass. There were deals. There were deals on oil or wheat or whatever it happened to be. Whatever commodity was popular that day, there were deals made to allow the world to ignore the brutality that was taking place. It would have been so much more convenient if you had fallen in 3 days. Then we don't have to help you. And I think if it were not for the ingenuity of Ukraine, they would have turned their back this time as well. But you just made too much noise this time, so they couldn't ignore you. You stood up for us when we needed help. We should be here when you need help. Most Americans don't know that when the United States was mired in Afghanistan, our friends, the Brits, of course, came to our side. The next most populous nation that came to our side was Ukraine. It was not especially in the interest of Ukraine to do that. You came to the aid of the United States because you are our friend, because you like us. And friends do that. I grew up in Pennsylvania, so my neighborhood, we had Ukrainian kids. And the only thing I ever noticed about Ukrainian kids was that they had Christmas on the wrong day. But other than that, they were just like me, and they were fun, and we played baseball, and we were all good together. My first year in college, my roommate was Ukrainian American. Like me, he was born in 1948. His mother decided that I was too skinny. And so every month when they visited him, she always brought food for me. Well, I got to know something of the true soul of Ukrainian people. I got to know about the famine and what Stalin deliberately did to innocent people. In addition to being generous and kind, Ukrainians are also strong. I could die here. If I do, it will be among men who say, Russian warship, go f*** yourself. I encourage every American to do everything you can to support Ukraine against pure evil. These are good and decent people who deserve our support. The people in my country who have not stood up for Ukraine have forgotten one of our basic principles, and that is that we stand up for our friends. It has been baseball season, and now it's football season, and to many Americans, those things are far more important than the lives of Ukrainians. When I am complete with my mission here, I will return to the U.S., and I will be as loud as I can possibly be in the cause of Ukraine. Putin made the mistake of sending slaves to conquer free men, and that was certainly a mistake. You've had 30 years of freedom, and you love it, and you're doing so well with it. You're not going to give it up. Not in 3 days, not in 5 days, not ever, not ever.